welcome to this podcast. And before going ahead, I'd love to say that I hope you enjoy this podcast, and of course it's subject to the disclaimers that I've mentioned already. And if you've got any queries, then do go to the website and have a look at those. I hope you enjoy this podcast. I was talking with a startup founder, Dan, and we had a really interesting conversation about how to get contracts signed more quickly. Obviously, getting contracts signed more quickly gets a business moving more quickly and gets revenue into the business. So how can you stop contract talks stalling or being delayed unnecessarily? Here are 3 things that Dan and I talked about, which I thought might be useful for you and which might actually be able to help. So the 3 things that I think are worth considering are, number 1, as a startup founder like Dan, something to consider is, if you are a founder, what do you want to get out of the contract? Now, you might list 3 or 4 things or a few more to say, well, this is what I want the contract to do for me. I want to be paid on time. I want to keep my IP, and also, if things go wrong, then I don't want the other party to claim a disproportionate amount compared to how much I'm being paid under the contract. So that might be your, if you like, deal makers list. Then, number 2, you might ask your legal advisor for deal breakers, i.e. clauses from a legal point of view that would be so onerous to sign up to that if they were ever triggered, it would put the company in serious jeopardy in terms of having to pay out compensation which might be completely disproportionate. So you might ask your legal advisor for 3 or more deal breakers, clauses which really are very, very onerous. You might then reconvene with your legal advisor and look at your deal maker clauses and say, well, do these clauses do what I want them to do? And then look at the deal breaker list of clauses and essentially look at those to see which clauses are truly deal breakers. And you might compile a consolidated list of deal maker clauses and deal breaker clauses. Particularly where you feel that they might need some kind of adjustment in order to get you to where you need to be. At that point, you might then condense that list along with your legal advisor so that you have a fairly short list of requirements that you might ask the other party to the contract to consider. Another point to consider is communication. So once you've got your list of points, often the way that this is communicated is via a tracked change version of a contract which is sent to the other side, and it shows all your amendments to the contract, explaining what changes you would like. However, one thing to consider there is that may not be received very well if it looks as if you have simply written over the contract that has been proposed to you by the other side. Another way of approaching this communication with the other side is to say, well, actually, here are a list of bullet points, and perhaps we all jump on a conference call and agree what we should do with this list of bullet points and the kind of amendments that might be acceptable to both parties. And then those amendments can be drafted into the contract. And if that contract is then sent to the other side with the agreed upon amendments, then it's much more likely to be well received. So, in summary, I said to Dan, the thing to consider is, from a commercial point of view, number 1, deal maker clauses, i.e. clauses that you, Dan, want in the contract. Number 2, look at deal breaker clauses, i.e. what your legal advisor suggests are clauses which are too onerous for you to sign up to. And number 3 is communication. How do you communicate the kind of changes that you might require in order for the contract to be acceptable to you. I hope this short summary and information is useful for you, and if you have any queries, then please do get in touch with me at jimmy@coachinglaw.com.